Hey everyone, I'm your host Eugene, and welcome back to Real and Remote at Rothway, a place to get to know the people of Group 1 for the work they do, but also for who they are as a person. I hope you all are ready for another great episode. Today, I'm joined by Megan Lawson. Thank you, Megan, for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's good to have you here. For you all, this will be our first time at a dealership having someone here. Megan has been at Stoner McCall Nissan for 6.5 years,
Yes.
what you said, as a service advisor. So it is a pleasure to have you on here with us. How's your day going?
It's going good. Busy as always.
Busy day? Okay. I understand. All right. So just kind of get us into it, just to get an understanding of it. Since you are our first service advisor on, could you give us like a base idea of like what's the service advisor, or like what's a basic day in the role as a service advisor for you?
Well, we get here very early in the morning. Folks are here lined up before 7 o'clock when we open. We're checking in cars, reviewing what they may need done to their vehicle. A lot of times it's diagnostic, so set them up for the expectation of how long it's going to take, what it entails, cost, that type of thing. So get them checked in, wait for news back from the technicians, and then we do a car wash and everything when we're all finished up. Some repairs are really fast and easy. Some repairs do take a little bit longer and maybe here a day or two or even multiple days.
So as a service advisor with it, and joining Group 1, was this your first time working in the automotive business, or had you?
It was, yes.
Oh, really?
First time at a working for the car dealership.
Gotcha. Okay. I feel like it's a lot for a lot of people, like myself included. So if you don't mind me inquiring, what type of field were you in beforehand?
I was in the restaurant business. So I've been dealing in customer service pretty much my entire working career. So This was just like a shift to a new thing to do, but still doing the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Still making customers happy and keeping them informed of what's going on and that stuff.
Okay, yeah, because I'm pretty sure like restaurant business, like more like the wait part of it, or like dealing with the manager overhead, or
Both. I've done it all.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Restaurants, too fast paced, too much. And I know, I know I'm a difficult customer at times, so I couldn't imagine being into that.
Right.
All right. So I do like to kind of like get an icebreaker, just a bit to know you as a person. Do you have any story or anything that you can share that can kind of like give us an idea of who Megan is, just as a person, just in general? It doesn't have to necessarily be just for work, but just you as a person, like what's fun side or anything?
I'm married to my husband for 13 years almost now. I have a 10-year-old daughter. She'll be in the 6th grade next year. And we do a lot of stuff as a family. We like to travel. We, can't do all work and no play. So we have a good time together. And all my family lives close around here in Texas. And we do things together with them as well. And so... Any favorite travel place you went to? Oh, we went to Ireland a few years back.
Really?
That was amazing. That's probably the best one. But we like to take cruises in the Gulf also, which is always fun, and a quick little trip out of Galveston. But we're from Illinois originally, so we travel into Chicago here this summer, and gonna visit some family up there. And
I feel like Illinois and Ireland, kind of like Irish, kind of have a pretty good connection.
Yeah, I guess they would. We're not Irish, but we like that.
Just wound up happening out that way.
Exactly.
Okay. And speaking on, I know I was asking about stories about you. Do you have like any interesting stories, like since being a service advisor, like any, not too crazy of a story, but like interesting moment you've had, like this is a eye-opening day or a fun day that you had, like, or experience with a customer, anything like that?
Every day is something new. Mm-hmm. So there's always some personality we get in there, and sometimes it can be challenging, and sometimes it's very unexpectedly pleasant. So, so I can't think of anything specific, but every day is new. That's one thing that when you're a service advisor and in the customer service industry, you got to be on your toes, because you'll get handed something different every single day.
I definitely get you. Because I briefly did service advisor, so I definitely get that brand new day, new customer, new experience every time. And so with it, I will go ahead and introduce our helpline team. So as you all can see now, we are joined by a new team. We have a new group with us today. And today we have the CXC helpline team with us today, led by Valerie. And Valerie, I'll let you go ahead and introduce the team as far as what you all do and why we're here asking these questions with Megan.
The helpline is customer service for the service coordinators. So whenever they have an issue that they can't solve, or they need assistance, or maybe there's an angry or grumpy customer and they need someone else to step in, they call us. This is Mikhail, and this is Diego. So these are two of the people that you probably have spoken to if you've called the helpline. We have some questions for Megan. I'm going to let Diego take the stage.
Thanks for that, Val. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
Now, just as representatives of the newly formed CXC, or not newly formed, but the now Customer Experience Center, I want to make sure that there's like a connection of what we do scheduling appointments and what actually happens on the service floor, building bridges, if you will, between those two. So what are some mistakes that you see from our agents whenever they're scheduling appointments?
A couple things come to mind, and they field a lot of our calls, so there's obviously going to be some mistakes that happen along the way. One of the biggest ones we see is especially when we're talking about Fridays, Saturdays, when they get scheduled for diagnostics in the afternoon. Our capacity is very large. We're servicing 100 cars plus every single day. Someone wants to schedule for some kind of a rattle or a transmission issue, scheduling them in at 1, 2 o'clock, they may not even get to a technician that day. Their scheduled appointment needs to clarify. That's to meet with your service advisor to check you in. They'll give you the information on how long the diagnostic's going to take. So coming in the afternoon for those type of things may not even get to a technician same day. It would have to be something that stays over.
Right.
Some of the things that we see coming across on emails, we get a lot of inquiries on emails. Fielding some of those simpler things and making the appointments. For instance, someone getting an email and they want to know how much for an oil change or a brake job. And I know you have all that information in the KB. It's just more busy work to send over to us to call these customers back in the middle of all of our deals, we're having going on, and answering the phones, for different things and updating our customers. Just make the appointment. All that information should be in the KB on the information on how much does the oil change cost, how much does it cost to do brakes, that type of stuff.
That definitely clears that up for sure. Cal? Oh, I thought we were gonna cut that off.
Oh, y'all free. I'm just bystanding. I'm just a bystander. I'm letting you all flow how you all flow.
All right, Megan. Hi.
Hi.
All righty. My question was, how do you manage your time and prioritize your tasks with such a fast pace?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. First and foremost, making sure your day's organized. Know who you have coming in throughout the day. Previewing your appointments the previous day to see, if there is a diagnostic for the afternoon, to give them a call and say, hey, is this okay for us to keep this over potentially to the next day? Mm-hmm. If not, we need to move their appointment up. We have some great tools, including X-Time, which organizes step by step where our cars are in the process of from start to finish. Mm-hmm. So making sure that you know where each of those are, set the expectations to your customer so they aren't expecting you to call them in an hour if we've got, 4 hours of work to do. Setting that expectation with them, as well as work with the team. Being a team lead, I'm there to support my team as well, so they can reach out to me if they need assistance with something, or if they need me to apply coupons ahead of time, making sure that's done and that they're on task as well. And just keeping your day organized, having all of your coupons and any kind of discounts and your extended warranty information, have that all at your fingertips. So when the time comes, you can quickly do an invoice and get that customer out as quickly as possible.
So, for those of you watching, CXC agents, no, the service advisors are not just sitting at their desk.
No.
They're not just sitting at their desk.
No.
So if you're trying to call them and they're not answering, it's because
They're busy.
they're busy. You heard it
Yeah.
from Megan. They're busy.
As soon as we start a repair order, they're going to get an automatic text message that says, hey, this is Megan. Please feel free to reach out at this phone number, or text me here at your convenience. That will, because I'm not sitting at a desk answering phones all day. If they text that, it goes to my cell phone and it goes to my computer. So if I don't get it on my cell phone right away, as soon as I sit down at my computer, it's going to send me a notification, hey, this customer has a question, or, wants an update or something like that. That's the best way to communicate. Yes, we are not sitting at desks answering phones all day long. In fact, I'm up and moving more than I could ever dream about sitting at my desk.
So my question is a little bit more like the service drive, not really process, but how many technicians does this service drive have, and are any of them have any special? Are they specialized in anything particular?
Well, we have two shops. We have our express shop, which is for oil changes, rotations, all that maintenance stuff, fluid changes, and then we have our diagnostic shop. Those technicians have more training to do diagnostics on any kind of leaks or malfunctions, check engine lights, that type of stuff. That shop is more specialized. So we have anywhere from express, we'll have 10 to 15 more, possibly more on busy days, technicians to supply those cars. But sometimes we come in on a Saturday morning, we've got 42 oil change appointments in the first hour. So you can imagine the time frame. Our diagnostic shop has anywhere from 15 to 25 technicians per day. Those technicians are doing longer repairs. Some are 15 minutes, some are days and days and days. So we have a lot of people, but we have a lot of cars. Through the afternoon, that's our finish up time, getting those repairs wrapped up for the day. Technicians are getting, whatever they have hanging on for the day or two, special order parts that have just arrived is finishing up in the afternoon. That's why we discourage the diagnostics scheduled in the afternoon, because, if you're behind, already 60 cars for the day that have been diagnosed, not even including the cars that are just going to the express shop, you may not get to a technician,
Right.
as I was saying earlier.
Right, that's a lot. It's a
lot. Yeah, we come in Saturday mornings, especially when we do our special event Saturdays, and we'll have 160 appointments or more, and 100 plus of those are in the first 3 hours. Wow. So, yeah, you're talking anywhere from 40 to, there's been days where we've had 42 appointments for the first 3 hours, all stacked.
Wow.
Balanced, every single slot is full. So.
Full day.
It's a lot of oil changes.
A lot.
So, as support staff for you guys, what could we do better to help you guys or make your lives easier?
Yeah, I think just setting the expectations. Also, I know you guys have your scripts and what you have to tell the customer. They don't always hear what we actually tell them. I'm sure you guys see that. That's not what I said. And we send you messages sometimes that says, hey, this customer is saying this was said. And then we get you send us the recording and it's nothing at all what was the customer says. But we have we have to be accommodating to them as much as we possibly can. I think also making sure that we get to the right advisor. And I know part of what you guys do is ask if they have a preference. But a lot of times when we make an appointment and it's on previously discussed services, it's always good to see if they remember who that advisor was, so we can get it back to that same advisor. Because we do get credit for you coming back in and seeing me again for your repairs that we've recommended.
Well,
Does that answer your question?
We'll do our best.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
No, I understand. It's like a game of telephone.
It is.
But no, any way that we can make your lives easier, because y'all are out here on the front line.
Worth the face, yep. The happy faces.
How should us as the CXC handle when we have those escalation calls from your customers that want to speak with you right now and they can't?
Yeah, we've been changing the phone systems a little bit. We talked about how it's hard to get us sometime, and we're not at a desk very often. Email, of course, is the best way, but if you have our manager extensions as well, because sometimes the customer just wants to vent to a manager, and it's something that may be completely out of our control, but they just want to be heard. They just want someone to listen to them and say, okay, and I've taken those calls before, and they thank me for just listening to them while they vent, and, I'll find out and I'll get back to you, you know.
I was about to ask somewhat the same question, but it was more of when you get those customers physically here in the store, and have you ever experienced a disgruntled customer that just, just being belligerent about it?
Yeah, and sometimes you can't make it right. We do everything we can to try to make it right, but some people aren't just going to allow us to make it right. And sometimes even though the customer is always right, they're not always right. But we have to make them feel like they're okay and they're going to be taken care of. And that's a delicate place. And sometimes it may not be me that makes it right. Sometimes it's another supervisor or manager that makes it right for them. And they just want to talk to a lot of people and tell them and be heard. We do the best we can, but cars are funny things. We're in a car business, and we try to explain all of the all the things that can happen with your cars. And sometimes when it comes to a repair, this may be the first step. Nissan provides us all these manuals, and when we have a repair, there may be a progression. We got to do the first step, which is the most common, the least expensive. We start with that, and we may have to go to step 2 to fix that repair, and we may have to go to step 3. It happens sometimes, and customers don't always hear that or understand that. They think we should get it right the first time, but there's a lot of repair facilities out there just throwing repairs at your cars and not getting it right, and then you get upset with them, and then you end up coming here, and we're telling you, hey, you know what? That's sometimes how it is, So one of the most challenging things for customers also is the diagnostic fees. The initial diagnostic is complimentary. It's a visual inspection, a test drive, and to plug your computer into our computer to run any kind of diagnostic trouble codes. Sometimes that tells us exactly what's going on with the vehicle. Sometimes it points us in the right direction. But we may have to do additional testing, and there are diagnostic fees for that. And the diagnostic fees are to get to the root of the problem. Some of those shops will say, hey, let's do this, and that doesn't do it, and they want to do this, and we do this. That's why we charge those diagnostic fees. If we can, if we don't have to go through the service manual, if it's something else, when it comes to like a misfire or something like that, and we need compression tests, and we've got to pull the plugs, and we've got to pull the coil packs and see what's going on with those, that costs a fee, for us to do that. And the reason we charge that is because if it costs too much, and you're like, I don't want to invest that much in my car, then we have to get some kind of compensation for that.
Right.
To take it apart, do the testing, put it back together. And if that does, and it's not like it goes towards your repair, but if you decide to have that repair done while we're doing that diagnostic, we aren't going to charge you, again, the taking apart and putting back together. So that would be something that is part of the repair that's taken care of in the diagnostic. So that's one of the hardest things that customers don't understand.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you kind of laid out that what the free initial diagnostic is, because I think agents have a hard time telling the customer this is what the free initial diagnosis consists of.
Right.
So I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Kind of.
So it's test drive, visual inspection, and to run any kind of diagnostic trouble codes for like a check engine light. That's what it is. So anything that includes any kind of tear down or testing, that is extra, but we don't charge the customer without their permission.
Yes.
We will present that to them and say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. This may or may not be part of the tear down, what that will be. But we don't proceed with anything without the customer's permission.
And is there at any time that, because we get a lot of customers that agents call, the customer want to know, do you guys accept this third-party warranty, that third-party warranty? Is there ever going to be a list that's given or put in the
No.
KB of warranties that you guys accept?
We pretty much accept them all. There's
Okay.
not really any that we don't accept, and they change all the time. There are thousands of third-party warranty companies out there. Now, there are some we would prefer to deal with over others, but we really will accept them all. And it really, and it doesn't mean something the customer needs to understand, which might help with you guys, is we have to do the diagnostic first. We can't start a claim without a primary failed part, which is what the repair is. They come in and they want diagnostic done. I can't call the warranty company and say, hey, this person's going to have diagnostic done. They're like, okay. They're not going to give us a claim. They're not going to authorize anything until we have a primary failed part.
Right.
Now, if the part is approved, then a lot of times if there are diagnostic fees, they may pay for part of it or all of it, depending on how much that is. The customer a lot of times are going to have to authorize that diagnostic fee first, if there is one, before we can even proceed with anything, before we can even start a claim. So it's not like you pull up and we're going to call your warranty and they're going to approve, $500 for us to do a test. They're not going to do that. They do.
Yes.
They do. So, and there's a lot of warranty companies that don't cover a lot of stuff. They don't cover diagnostics, or they don't cover a rental fee. They don't cover nuts, bolts, fluids, seals, that type of stuff. They only cover the main components.
Yeah.
And they don't sell that to the customer that way. They say, we're going to cover this and this and this and this and this, but they're not going to cover everything. And there are some warranty companies that are really great and they cover everything. So it just depends on the warranty company and the plan you have.
Because we get a lot of customers asking, what does my warranty cover?
And we don't know that either. That's outlined in their contract.
Exactly.
And they need to provide that to us when they arrive to the service drive to give us the information. They need to provide that extended warranty information. If they purchase it at our dealership or a McCall or a Group 1, I can look that information up. But if it's purchased at Central Nissan or Schottenkirk or something like that, they need to provide that warranty to us. Because if it's not a Nissan warranty, I won't have access to that. So.
Okay, guys, so did you hear that? A diagnostic has to be performed before they can say anything or talk to the customer about anything considering warranty. And sometimes it's not a same day response from the warranty, right?
Correct.
It could be 24 to 48 hours
Yeah.
before you hear anything.
Correct, yeah.
And remember, if you ask if they've had the vehicle serviced with us before, or if you can inquire if they purchased the vehicle from the dealership. If they don't, it may help to let the customer know to make sure they bring their documentation for their warranties.
Any more questions?
Why are y'all looking at me?
Oh, I do. I have another question. So this question is really not about the service drive, it's more about you. So you've been here for 6.5 years, you're a team lead. Do you have any plans of advancing? And if you did, what position would you have your eyes set on?
Oh, goodness. At this time, I've been asked to go into a management role. At this time, I'm not ready for that. I have a daughter that's 10 years old. I'm already gone 12 hours a day, 4 days a week. At this time, I'm not interested in doing that. But in the future, probably would be interested in possibly taking perhaps a drive manager role lead if that comes about. If it's in the cards.
I understand.
I think that would be nice. And you're a service advisor. She's a service advisor for one of my vehicles. Well, it's going to be two of my vehicles. It's going to be two of my vehicles because we just purchased it. We just added another Nissan.
You got another Nissan.
So, and she's very efficient, very outgoing, as you can tell, and she's on her game. So I've never had to submit a vehicle status, what's going on with my car. She'll call us on three-way if that's what it takes to discuss a repair. So it's appreciated.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Very glowing. Okay. Did y'all have any more questions, or was everything?
That's it.
All right. It has been lovely. Y'all, I've just been here admiring you all. It's been a great conversation. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming out here. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
Well, this was nice. This was fun. Great facility. Nice, very nice facility.
Very.
Oh, yeah. Definitely beautiful.
Thanks for
All right.
having us. Thanks, Eugene, for having Bellplay.
Oh, yeah, of course. I thank y'all for coming on. It was amazing. All right. That was so amazing having our helpline join us. They really had some great questions.
They
I
did.
was
They did.
so thankful to have that. One thing I know they was kind of speaking to that I wanted to inquire about was when it comes to customers, what's some things that you do as far as helping you to build rapport with your customers?
I think remembering your customers and following up with them. So to me, customers aren't just a tag number or a car, they're a name. I remember their names.
Yeah, names go a long way.
Yeah, and it's always finding something or commonality. Even just mentioning something about their cars. if they have, like a bumper sticker or a license plate frame. I like to mention to people that if their car smells good, I'm like, oh, your car really smells good. People usually chuckle a little bit. I'm like, I know, because I get in some stinky cars. So
A lot of cars going through the day.
there are some stinky cars out there. But, just remembering your customers, following up with them, thanking them. We have an automatic system that reaches out to them after their service. And if they comment back, or it's just a follow-up, just say, hey, making sure everything's good. When they comment back, I always comment back to that, thanking them again for coming in and allowing me to take care of them. And, a lot of folks, if it's a new customer, I'll give them my card and make sure they ask for me, let them know my email address. That's the best way to communicate. If they're, on some time that I'm not there, I'll get those emails.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. Because, I mean, like, what you're saying, like, it kind of makes you feel more as a person instead of just a check on the box. It's like,
Correct.
okay, you actually notice me, you're paying attention to me as a person. Like, you're working with me, but also we're interacting as actual people at that point.
Right.
I feel like that definitely goes a long way, especially customer service just in general. So
Absolutely.
okay. So with being a service advisor, and I know you're a team leader among your service advisors as well. What are one of your favorite, or what are some of your favorite things about your role? Like, what's one of the things you enjoy? Like maybe the customer experience, or what is it?
Well, yeah, I like the customer experience, but I like working with my team too, and kind of teaching them, letting them model me on, how I work, how I deal with my customers, and how I can deal with their customers as well. Just the communication aspect and being friendly and nice and easy with customers, and showing them how they can do it in the future. Work with a lot of young people, so. It hasn't always been this comfortable for me to talk to strangers, but, I've learned how to do it from doing it for so long that it's become comfortable, and I talk to strangers for a living every day almost. So,
I salute you on that, because that is definitely something I sometimes can have struggles with. Like, just I feel like I'm a decently big personality,
Right.
but have to kind of like loosen up a little bit. That's why I love having, like, even before recording like this podcast, like having a bit of a conversation to get an understanding, like
Right.
why for the person. Like, okay, bet we can talk about it like this, and then from there we gotta have that. So I salute to you on that, because definitely every day talking to a new person, interacting,
It
new
is.
personalities,
absolutely.
people have so much variance. So you can definitely get with
Yeah,
that.
it's important to make that connection, even if it's a stranger and for someone you've never met and it's never been here before. You got to make an impact.
And I know you said with speaking with your service advisors, as a service advisor, do you all have like times like communication throughout the other departments? Like, so whether it's like sales, finance, anything, do y'all have like any?
Well, there are some communication tools. We have a good relationship, I think, all around. We try to help each other out, when we can. There's not a huge amount of crossover. They will bring, if they have the sales folks, if they have someone that purchases a new vehicle, they will show them over to us, introduce us to the service department. Usually one of us, whoever's available there, will give them the card, explain a little bit about their vehicle, and wish them luck, and let us know to reach out whenever they can. But as far as working with the sales department of finance, there's not a lot of overlap, honestly.
I understand that. Yeah, I feel like probably what you said would probably be the biggest thing. I think is that when you get a new vehicle, like just transition, like let you all know, hey, this is a place that you'll be going to, familiarize yourself a
Exactly.
little bit. From there, just pretty much moving along.
Right.
Okay. And so I know with service, I'm not sure if this applies as much. I know you all are one of like the few places that actually has a collision center on site. So do you all with service sometimes have communications or workings with the collision
Yeah,
center directly?
absolutely. Sometimes if a car is in for repairs, usually it's them bringing it to us. If their car is in service in the collision center and the customer's like, you know what, I need my oil changed while I'm there, they'll let their adjuster know. Adjuster will call us up here, and I'm like, yeah, bring it over whenever you're ready, whenever you have a chance, and we'll get that knocked out for them. It's really nice. We can send payment over the text system so they can pay. And then also sometimes there's stuff in the collision center that they don't do, when it comes to programming or some of the calibrations on the cameras and stuff. They'll send it over to us, and we'll do that for them as well, and then sublet it back.
Okay, that makes sense. Because that's what I was thinking when, as far as like of the departments here, probably the closest one that had like some symbiotic kind of like relationship.
Right,
It's like, okay,
right.
we have things that actually we are the ones actually working on the vehicles.
Exactly.
And so times, exactly like you said, like those if you have a Nissan, it has to be done at the Nissan portion. And because the collision center, they work on everything, right? Like,
Right.
Not just Nissan branded vehicles. All right. So now just kind of bit of a shift back. So we spoke a lot about service, but I do want to get back to you, just Megan. So I believe you were speaking about it. You're from Illinois, was it you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so like me, you're not someone from Houston.
Right.
What are your thoughts of Houston? Like, do you love Houston? Like, how do you feel about like moving to the city? Like, what are some of your favorite things, or what brought you here even?
I like Houston. I was brought here in 2008. I got downsized for my job. I was living in Indianapolis at the time, actually. And I had family down here, so I followed them down here. And I like it. You know, it snowed a lot that last winter I was in the Midwest. And
we don't get that too much.
I don't miss it, you know. I don't miss it at all. I would much rather have 100 degrees every day than I would. I know,
was
I'm one of
with
the
you
few.
for a second and you said 100. Houston summers, 100 degrees.
I would rather have the hot than the cold and the feet of snow. I really would.
Yeah, I feel like I'd lose it in snow. Like, yeah, I feel like it's one of those things when you're not used to having. It's like, oh yeah, I would love to have the snow till you actually deal with it for a few days. It's like, okay, this isn't so fun anymore.
It's fine if you don't have to go anywhere, but as far as if you have to go anywhere, it's horrible. You can go anywhere in the heat. Everything's AC.
As long as you bring it in shop, making sure your AC is working, you're good to go. Okay, so I definitely like that. But yeah, I didn't. How long ago was it last time? Did we have a snow recently, earlier this year? Or
that wasn't really a snow.
that's how you know you were really in the area where you used to snow. It's like that didn't really count.
Yeah,
That didn't mean anything.
a few flurries and a dust don't count as snow.
Okay. All right. So, sorry. Sticking with you on it, and I know you kind of like telling us about your history, like you spending time in Indianapolis as well as Illinois. What are some things that you feel like, some moments in your life that have kind of like shaped you to be the person that you are? Because you seem to be very focused, but also still fun, easygoing type of person. So what are some things you feel like shaped you into that person?
You know, I think I have a great family growing up. My mom instilled in me and my dad too how to be a hard worker and how my mom was a school teacher, so grades were important all the time. So that's even just part of just being a hard worker and making sure you keep that up. But I think, you know, as far as getting me to my customer service skills now is just being in the restaurant business forever. It's what I've always done ever since my first job. When I was 16 years old, I went to work in a restaurant. And I think that really pulled me out of being kind of a shy kid. You'd never call me shy now, but I was at one time.
Really?
So yeah, and I think just, you know, working in the service field is just, you know, you got to be on your toes. You got to be ready for anything.
Very true.
You have to be able to talk to people no matter what it is and what they may throw at you. So I think that's really just kind of made me what I am in my career, is just getting out there and trying harder and being around people all the time.
Okay. Okay, that definitely makes sense. I agree with you on like the service part of it, because when you think about it, it's one thing when you're just dealing with computers or dealing with machines or something,
right,
which y'all also have to deal with, but add on top the layer of
right,
people interactions. So yeah, I can imagine. And even just trying to convince customers, which is a thing, like you really need to have this done. Like, I got this problem, but I don't really want to do it.
You got to build trust with them. You know, you got to let them know that, you know, you need this because you need this, not because I'm trying to sell you something you don't need. You know, it's a building trust with those customers and having them keep coming back for you. You know, keep coming back and servicing with you and getting their repairs done.
Yeah, that's why I feel like what you said, like with knowing names and just noticing little things about it, kind of goes a long way in that trust building process. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I don't have too many more questions for you. One thing I like to ask anyone who we have on here, Group 1's automotive company. We have a lot of different brands, a lot of different vehicles. For you, what would be your dream vehicle? And this can be a classic, old school vehicle, something new in the works, but anything. What would be your dream vehicle?
That's something more to ask my husband. He's always got a dream vehicle.
A to B.
Yeah. Would be my dream vehicle. You know, I like an SUV. Okay. I drive an SUV now. I probably one of the newer electric ones. Okay. You know, I like the electric cars. They got a lot of power. My husband drives a Tesla, so
instant torque with those.
Yeah, I like the power of the electric vehicle, but I probably go with an SUV of some sort.
An SUV. So the fact that you say SUV kind of told me, it's like I really just need it to be there. It's like it doesn't matter what kind of SUV, just I need. You kind of remind me. I know like some friends that's just like I just need the AC to work. I need the basics to work.
Exactly. I need nice seats, and I like those vented seats too.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. So your dream vehicle is a vehicle that works and just has enough of the right accommodations.
You know.
Not too
Right,
hard. Okay.
yeah. I don't need something that goes super fast. I don't drive super fast, so.
Oh, really?
I like to go fast quick, but I don't want to go fast.
Okay, this is a little quick zoom, but not a
Right, not a zoom.
not a zoom. Okay, definitely. All right, Megan. So that really concludes all the questions I have for you. Did you have anything that you would? I mean, I know we've asked a lot of questions of you
Yeah.
already today. Was there anything that you may want to have, or you pretty much
I don't
got
think
it?
so. I think you've asked me a lot, and I've talked a lot. today.
I've done a lot of talking, and more customers I know you have ahead of you, so more talking in front of you. All right, so with that, I appreciate you so much for coming
Thank you.
on with us. Thanks for having talking with me as well as our helpline team. That was amazing. Had a great conversation on both fronts to me. Just even me getting back the chance to sit back and just hear them asking you questions really was enlightening for me. So appreciate you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate that. And so with that, you all, this has been Eugene with Real and Remote at Rothway. Thank you, Megan, for coming on with us. And it's been a great conversation. I hope all of you listening and watching have enjoyed this as much as I have. This has really been a great conversation. And just be sure to like, comment on the video, notes, whatever you have. And on that note, we are out. We'll see you all next time. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Yay!